Go for North Park!
North Park with the upset! North Park with the upset! The pitch to Paulson is driven into deep center field. It's gone yard! It's gone yard! North Park wins!
Good afternoon, early evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the first edition of NPU Weekly, the weekly webcast show that brings you up to date on all news in the world of North Park University athletics. I am your host, Kevin Shepke, and for this next half hour, we're going to be previewing all the fall sports teams that are coming up here for the 2015 fall season, starting with the women's tennis team, volleyball, women's soccer, cross country, and men's soccer and football. We're going to be previewing all of them for you in this next half hour of NPU Weekly. Speaking of which, starting with first of all, the football team. The North Park football team will be starting this Saturday when they travel down to Mequon, Wisconsin to take on Concordia University, Wisconsin, a team that they unfortunately lost to last year by a late field goal here at the Home Grand Athletic Complex. The full football team preview will be seen on our website later this week. However, the College Conference of Illinois and Wisconsin was able to do a short team preview of Coach Conway and the team earlier this week. Actually, midweek last week, they paid a visit to us here at the Home Grand Athletic Complex, and we have a snippet of that preview that they were able to put together for us. So let's go ahead and show that to you right now.
Well, Mike, we're step by step. I mean, we're trying to progress as a program, and we still have a long way to go. We're in the process of gaining some momentum, hopefully, but it's a tough road in this league. You know, with great coaches and great players and great teams and the traditions that they have. It's been an uphill battle, but it's also been a fun one. You know, it's been a challenge every day. It's been a challenge every week, and that's what makes us go. Yeah, we feel pretty good about our offense. I mean, we pretty much returned 9 of 11 starters from last year, so including the quarterback, which is important. And you know, he's been through a lot of learning over the past couple of years and made a lot of mistakes, and he's gained. I think he's gained some knowledge in this offense, and we've done a pretty good job. I think our offensive coaches have done a good job in coaching all of our guys, but especially him. You know, he's got talent, but it takes much more than talent to be successful, and to be successful in this league. So, but we've got quite a few returners returning at receiver. We've got a really good freshman from last year, Devin Childress, and Dakota is going to be a senior this year, and he's healthy. And Anthony Burke really came onto the scene for us last year, and we got 3 or 4 other guys returning as well. So we're pretty happy about that. You know, we have to run the ball better, and we're pretty excited about the opportunity to have all of our starters back on the offensive line, and I think they're in a better place as far as leading our team and protecting our quarterback and opening up the run game, hopefully, because we need to do a better job with that, no doubt about it. Well, you know, we do have a number of guys back. All of our linebackers are back. 2 of them are seniors, and one of them was a freshman last year, Sean Mayaiva, and he's a terrific young player. So we've got those guys returning. We lost some valuable, really good players on the defensive front that we're going to have to replace, and that's going to be a task for us. But we have some talent in the secondary, I think, and pretty happy about that. They've been doing very well. We got a little bit of depth that we haven't had before, and part of the program is the developmental aspects of the last 2 years has been really hard you need time to develop players, and I think that's what we're really doing now is we're seeing some guys really develop over the last year or two and really step up now and take those roles that we need them to take as far as our defense goes.
So, yep, the North Park football team will be starting this Saturday when they host Concordia University, Wisconsin, in Mequon, Wisconsin. Moving on to other teams on campus, the North Park women's tennis team, they will be hosting. They were supposed to be hosting Dominican University on Wednesday, but unfortunately that match ended up getting postponed. So now the Vikings will be traveling out to Bourbonnais, Illinois, to take on Olivet Nazarene University. I was able to catch up with Carl Clifton Soderstrom late last week to talk a little bit about the team. And here's what he had to say about that. We are now joined by second-year head women's tennis coach Carl Clifton Soderstrom of the North Park University women's tennis team. North Park coming off a successful 2014 fall season where they ended up finishing 5th in the College Conference of Illinois and Wisconsin standings, this being the first season for the North Park women's tennis team since the 2002 season. So, Carl, now that and I should also mention, too, that in the spring season they also finished with a 4-3 record and ended the year with an 8-1 victory over Dominican. So now, Carl, that you're entering your second season now as the women's tennis coach, what are your expectations now for this year coming up?
Yeah, thanks, Kevin. Yeah, there was a great sort of upward momentum all through last year. So as a brand new team, we started off, mostly first-year players, so it was a little rough in the beginning, but like you said, we kept improving, ended up 5th at the final conference tournament. Spring season went really well. We had a strong recruiting year, so we have at least 4 new players now that are joining us as first-year players.
Okay.
From what we've seen in this first week of intense practices and workouts and that, we're, I think, definitely going to be a stronger team than we were last year. So it should be a really fun fall season for us.
Yeah, absolutely. Talking about what you guys got coming back now, you got return all CCIW first team selection and CCIW freshman of the year Lisa Daniels for her sophomore season, who ended up finishing 7-4 in the 2014 fall season, as well as Marley McCabe and Juvial Van Leeuwen for their sophomore seasons. Talk about those 3, Lisa Daniels in particular, and then those other 2, and then just the other returners coming back for this year's team.
Yeah, we were thrilled with how Lisa did last year. She had a great year. She worked hard, was enthusiastic, ended up 3rd in the conference at first singles as just a first-year player.
Yeah, wow.
So that was great. She ended the spring just as strong. I know that she worked hard over the summer. She went back to South Africa, where she's from, and worked there. And from what we've seen, she's even probably fitter than she was at the end of last season. So,
wow, okay.
So that should be really good. Yeah, Marley McCabe is back. Juvie Van Leeuwen. Both of them had solid seasons last year. Also improved through the year, and I think Juvie and Lisa together had one of the more successful doubles teams in the fall. So they were seeded pretty well in the CCIW, given them being first-year players. So I think having them as kind of anchors, still a few more years for them to play is exciting to think about. So.
I was going to say the next question is, what do you think is probably the success of the team is going to come from? It's going to be a combination of the singles and doubles, more of the singles, more of the doubles. What do you think it's going to be?
Yeah, I think this year we have 2, certainly, we have 4 good recruits. We have 2 very strong ones that should be quite competitive with Lisa's ability, which sort of gives us a really strong sort of first 3 positions. Okay. So the way that it works in college, if you have 3 strong players on the front end, that gives you a good chance at a doubles victory, 3 singles victories. You're most of the way there for a team, victory in any given head-to-head match. So I think our top 3 positions are going to be very competitive in the CCIW. And as we saw, we play different conferences in the area, and in general, the CCIW does quite well, and is one of the stronger conferences in the Midwest. So with them as kind of the anchor at the top positions, I think that in general we're going to have a much deeper and a kind of balanced team. So it's hard to tell right now where the victories are going to come, if they're going to be more doubles or singles. Yeah. But certainly I think overall we're going to see more consistency.
Okay. Talk about too, you got some of these newcomers coming in. I know you guys got a Division I UIC transfer, Jasmine Madrid, as well as some other newcomers. Talk about what the experience that she's going to bring to this team, and just how much of impact the newcomers are going to be to complement those veterans that are coming back.
Yeah, so Jasmine is coming. She's from the Chicago area. She was at UIC. She played for their club team there. Like you said, they're Division I, so she wanted to see some more playing time. Was attracted to North Park, so she's joining us. She's brings a kind of a great sort of intensity very athletic style of play. Plays a lot of hard-hitting balls, so that sort of just gives a kind of overall great energy to the team. Then we also have from Norway, Vilde Olden, who's come.
Okay.
She was a great recruit that's joined us. She plays another kind of heavy ball hitter, very athletic. So those two and Lisa kind of really can, I think they're going to push each other to be much better players. So we also have Katie Schleboom from Niles West High School, who's coming in. And between her and Mackenzie Harrison also, that sort of rounds out the whole team. So it's been a good week. We know what to work on with them. And yeah, so there's a lot of good energy with these newcomers coming in.
Awesome, too. Yeah, you guys open the season now next Wednesday against Dominican. Talk about the expectations of the non-conference season against the conference schedule, and just how much you think the non-conference games are going to prepare you guys for the CCIW.
Right. Pretty much in the fall, the big emphasis is on the conference games, and that's where we'll see probably our toughest competition. Dominican, we played them twice last year, beat them twice. It's a great opening match for us. Gives us a chance to sort of test some of the new skills that we've been working on and improvements with the team. And then we jump into a pretty heavy weekend. We play Olivet Nazarene right away. Now they have a strong team. So that'll be kind of our first, probably like big, hard challenge right away. And so I'm actually quite excited to see how some of these new players do with that. Within the conference, Augie and Wheaton and Carthage have been really strong the last few years. So there isn't any single dominant team, which makes for a lot of interesting matches. So the goal for us, for the CCIW, is to get into that top 4 slot. Because that will allow us then to sort of be seeded into the spring tournament, which goes into the national tournament. So that's, I think, a good, reasonable goal for us to have for the fall.
Sure, absolutely. Okay, well, thanks so much, Carl, for taking the time today, and we wish you guys the best of luck in the 2015 season.
Thank you, Kevin.
Thank you. I say, yep, the Vikings now, they're poised for another strong season behind the #1 singles player of Lisa Daniels, who was named the CCIW Newcomer of the Year last year. Moving on to North Park women's volleyball team, the North Park Lady Vikings. They are now under new head coach Natalie Jeets. The Vikings will be opening up their season tomorrow night when they travel, tomorrow afternoon and into the evening when they travel down to Naperville to compete in the North Central College Invite. The Vikings, which had a 6-match winning streak last year from September 16th through the 25th, had a solid campaign, although it wasn't the campaign that the Vikings were looking for. Still was a solid campaign given for what they had. And here's what head coach Natalie Jeets had to say a little bit about that team. We are now joined by first-year head coach Natalie Jeets of the North Park women's volleyball team. North Park coming off an unfortunate subpar year, 9-24 overall and 0-7 in the CCIW last season. However, they had a 6-match winning streak, the longest winning streak for a North Park team in the last 7 seasons. So, Natalie, now that you're entering your first year as a head coach at a Division III program, what are your expectations now coming into this for the 2015 season?
Yeah, I think my expectations are a lot higher than last year. We return 7 players and we have 12 newcomers on our roster. So, with a great influx of girls coming into the gym, we have seen already significant strides in our team chemistry. We just took a trip this past week and that really, really helped see where we're at. We scrimmaged at Northland College, and we really grew as a team, and I'm very excited about where we already are, even in the first 5 days of preseason.
Wow, okay, great. Talking about some of the returners you guys got coming back, got Haley Brake coming back, as well as Abigail McCohen and Darby Switzer, who led the team with 786 assists last year, and Haley Brake, who was second in kills with 240, and Abby McCohen, who had 20 serving aces. Talk about those 3 and just the other returners and how much those ladies are going to be able to help this team moving forward.
Yeah, those three of those girls are actually our captains. They've been instrumental in really helping all of our newcomers come aboard and helping our team dynamic and help us stay together during practices. They are really, really pushing all of the freshmen and showing them that this is the way that North Park Volleyball and how we run things. So they've done a fantastic job really keeping everyone in line and pushing our girls to be better. As far as their roles on our team, we really don't know yet. We may be changing some of their positions, and we'll see. We'll see when we open up next week.
Okay, wow, okay. Talking about, too, the newcomers. I think you said you had 12 the newcomers on the team?
Yeah, we have 12 newcomers, with 10 of them being true freshmen. So
wow, okay.
half our team is freshmen, so we are very young. But I think that we're a very mature young team, and it's not your typical freshman team where a lot of inconsistency is expected. I expect a high level of maturity and consistency from them throughout the entire season.
Talking about what not just returners and these newcomers, what kind of an offense is this team going to be more? Is it going to be more of an attacking type of offense? Is it going to be more of a possession ball to mix things up a little bit, or is it going to be a combination of those things?
Yeah, we are a lot more physical than we were last year, so I am expecting a better distributed offense than we had last year. We are relying on one or two main people to put the ball away. But this year we have people at every position that have the ability to do that. So we're a lot deeper within our offense. So we will be looking for all of our attackers to be able to terminate.
Okay. Talk about, too, this non-conference schedule. I mean, guys got a lot of tournaments on this schedule. The North Central Tournament, the Elmhurst College Tournament, including your own tournament, the North Park Invite, September 11th and 12th, the Illinois Wesleyan Tournament, and the Augie Invitational. Talk about those tournaments in general, the non-conference schedule overall, how much it'll prepare you guys for conference.
Yeah, we're playing a couple top 20 teams in the country in those tournaments. And obviously that's going to prepare us for our conference. We have 3 teams within our conference that are in the top 25, so obviously we have an extremely competitive conference, and in order to really prepare for them, we have to be playing the top competition. We have a lot of middle-of-the-pack teams, and we have a lot of really top teams, so we're not really playing anyone who's going to give us a game. So it will do a very great job preparing us for conference.
And then, talking about this CCIW, always a rigorous schedule, but still, I mean, you guys are talking about having the physicality needed for the CCIW. Just talk about what it's going to take to be competitive in the CCIW this year.
Yeah, obviously being ranked 8th gives us a little bit of fire. But we're looking to compete with every single team within the CCIW, whether it's going 4 or 5 matches, taking some matches. We really have higher hopes this season than we did last year, especially with a lot of our newcomers, and then with the mix of our returners as well. They have laid the groundwork, and our newcomers are really following their path and doing a great job with it.
Okay, well, thanks so much, Natalie, for taking the time today. We wish you guys the best of luck in the 2015 season.
Thank you so much.
Thanks.
My hands are nice.
I say, the Vikings just poised to have another solid season as they now return Abigail McCowan, Haley Braken, as well as Darby Switzer, among others, to that team this year, as they'll be taking on the North Central College Invite tomorrow afternoon and tomorrow evening. Moving on to the other sports on campus, the North Park women's soccer team. They travel to Concordia University, Chicago tomorrow out in River Forest. They'll be taking on the Cougars out there for a 5 p.m. game. And I was able to catch up with Coach Chris Wright last week a little bit to talk a little bit about the Vikings. Is now grad assistant coach Emma Lundeen, who's a former player herself, ended up getting first team all-conference for the Vikings, the first to do so since the 1998 season. And I had a chance to talk to with Coach Chris Wright about that and just the team as overall. You're now joined by fifth-year head coach Chris Wright of the North Park University women's soccer team. North Park coming off an unfortunate subpar year, 6-12 overall and 1-6 in the conference. However, they had a 4-game winning streak from September 20th to October 4th, the longest winning streak for a North Park team in the last 3 seasons. So, Coach, now that you're entering your 5th season for as the head coach of the women's soccer team, what are your expectations now for the 2015 season?
We have high expectations this year, same as we have every year. Last year was a little unfortunate. We played the whole year without a goalkeeper.
Yeah.
So to go 6-12, in hindsight, wasn't the best season. But at the same time, looking back, there was a couple of games where maybe if we'd had a keeper, maybe a bit of luck here and there, it could have easily been a 500 season. But the girls played well. I mean, this year we have 14 new faces. We lost 12, 13 players from last year. So at this moment in time, pre-season's going really well. We're just kind of figuring out the new girls, how they fit in with the returning players, and just kind of see what's going to work best for us this season.
Yeah, you mentioned those players that you lost, that being one of them, veteran Emma Lundeen, who was All-CCIW first team and becoming the first All-CCIW first team selection since the 1998 season, as well as Viviana Preciado. But now you have those two as both coaches. What do you think that's going to give you guys kind of a competitive edge now, having 2 players of their caliber now on the coaching side of things?
I think it's definitely going to help. Whenever you have players of that quality who then become coaches on your coaching staff that can give that wisdom and that experience to the young girls. I think it can only help us. They're both two very, very talented players, and they're both shown that they can both be two talented coaches. So we're very lucky to have them. And we use them as and when to their experience to help the young girls throughout the season.
Talking about that too, some of these returners, you got Annika Nyquist, sophomore. She was fourth leading goal scorer on the team last year with 4 goals, as well as Phoenix Sanchez is returning for her senior season, and she ranked 5th overall in shots on goal percentage. Talking about those two and just the returners as a whole coming back to this team, and how much you think they'll help you guys moving forward in this year.
Well, our returners, we have 8 of them. So they're going to play a big role, all 8 of them, especially to mould this young group. Annika had a great freshman season last year, so we have high hopes for her. Phoenix is entering her senior year. She's currently recovering from an MCL sprain, so we don't have her at this moment in time. The hope is that she will return sometime soon. But we have, Cindy Martinez, who is our sophomore this year, goalkeeper, who obviously was injured last year with an ACL. We have Kelsey Deal and Jessica Malik, who are both talented central defenders who are going to probably be the rock for us this year and gain their experience is going to be vital for us moving forward. So yeah, we have some good returning players, and they're all going to have to step up and do a job for us this year to ensure that we're successful.
Yeah, touch a little bit too on the newcomers you guys got coming into this year's team. Talk about just how much they're going to be able to help this veteran group and you guys moving forward. Again, just trying to bounce back from the season you guys had from a year ago.
Well, we're very excited. We brought in a very, very talented class. We had to bring in a class that talented because we lost such a talented class last year. But we have Marina and Emily and Kaylee. We have a number of real talented players who have come in, and in our first preseason scrimmage, they both played a lot. All 3 of them played a lot of minutes. We have Megan Ellis, who's coming in as a transfer student, who's another goalkeeper. So we feel as though we have some good depth, and then we have a variety of other girls who are coming in. So we're excited. It's going to take some time. It's going to be a process. We spoke earlier in the week about setting ourselves goals to really give the new girls time to acclimatise and figure out how to play in the CCIW and college soccer. But no, we're excited, and we're going into every game to win.
Okay. Yeah, talking about too the schedule. On your non-conference schedule, you guys got a couple of schools like UW Whitewater, Concordia, Chicago, then you go to the Illinois Institute of Technology Invite. Just talk about some of those teams and just the overall non-conference schedule and how much you think it's going to prepare you guys for the CCIW.
Well, once again, we have a tough non-conference schedule. As you mentioned, we play Whitewater, we played Dubuque. Both of those teams were, in and around the top 25 last year, plus another couple of teams that we have on our schedule. So we have a tough schedule, and we have to. We play in such a tough conference that to give ourselves an easy schedule and to kind of walk through those games, especially for the young group that we have coming in, isn't really preparing them for the conference. So we have to play a tough non-conference schedule, I feel, in order to prepare the team. So it's going to be tough. Every game is going to be one of those games where we're going to have to play well, we're going to have to perform, and if we do that, we're going to give ourselves a chance to win. If we don't, then it's going to be a difficult game and a long season. But we're preparing the girls well. The pre-season is going really well. We're happy with the way the team's gelling and things, so we're looking forward to it.
Talking about too this conference schedule, I know obviously you guys are picked 7th in the overall coaches poll to start the season, but obviously what are preseason polls? That it matters what happens at the end of the season. Talking about just how much this rigorous conference schedule is just going to be going into this year.
Well, the CCIW every year is one of the top conferences in the nation for women's soccer and men's soccer as well. So the preseason polls don't really mean much to us. I totally understand why we were voted 7th. I mean, you lose that many seniors and that much quality. Nobody really knows what to expect, but I think that's a good thing. We've got a lot of new girls coming in. People hopefully will underestimate us, and we'll prove them wrong.
Okay. All right. Well, thanks so much, Chris, for taking the time today, and we wish you guys the best of luck in the 2015 season.
Thanks.
So listen, another solid season and campaign for the North Park women's soccer team coming up, as they will now be hosting Edgewood College on Friday night here at the Holmgren Athletic Complex after that game on Tuesday night, tomorrow night. Moving on to the other sports on campus, the North Park men's soccer team, they also open tomorrow night against Benedictine University. September 1st for a 7 o'clock game out there. The Vikings, who are picked to finish second in this ECIW this year, are poised to have another season. This is probably one of the deepest teams, as I was talking with head coach Chris Grant about it earlier in the year, that this could quite possibly be the biggest and deepest team that the Vikings have had in recent memory under 17th year head coach John Bourne. I had a chance to talk with, speaking of Chris Grant, I had a chance to speak with the associate head coach of the Vikings earlier on, and here's what he had to say about that. We're now joined by second-year associate head coach Chris Grant of the North Park University men's soccer team. North Park men's soccer coming off one of their best seasons, recent memory, a 13-6-1 record, their 12th straight season of 10 or more victories, and a 5-2 second place mark in the CCIW. So now, Chris, as you enter your second season as the associate head coach, what are your expectations now for the upcoming 2015 year for the North Park men's soccer team?
Well, like you said, we had a very good season last year. Had a lot of talent on that team. We're only graduating 4 or 5 starters, possibly. This incoming class is looking very, very good. We're bringing in one of the largest classes, if not the biggest, ever in the program's history. Approximately 25 new players at this point, so a lot of talent on that team. So,
okay. Yeah, too, you also return 3 of your all-conference players, that being Wesley Woodley for his senior season, a 2-time All-CCIW second-team selection in the keeper position, as well as Diego Lashley for his senior season, also a 2-time All-CCIW selection, and the top goal scorer, that Pedro Tommy Mosele for his junior year. Talk about what those 3 guys are going to bring to the table for this year's team.
Well, obviously they're a very talented player. Wesley Woodley, I believe, is one of the best goalkeepers in the conference, one of the best goalkeepers ever at North Park. So, yeah, with his leadership skills, same with Diego Lashley, hardworking player, always gives 100%. Going to be an important piece of, next year's team. And glad to have Pedro back as well. He's a difference maker. He's one of those guys who can score in the 90th minute and change the game. So we're very happy to have those 3 guys back, and they're going to be good pieces next year. So.
Yeah. Touch a little bit more on what Pedro Tommy Mosele was able to do last year. He had, like I said, he had 13 goals, the team best 13 goals, and up until he got, I believe he got injured at the end of the season. He was unfortunately not able to play in some of those games. But just talk about now that he's been able to recover, just how much of an impact he's going to have now going into his junior year.
Yeah, he unfortunately he got end of the last season, so he was out for 5 games or so and did not travel with us. So, but yeah, hopefully he can stay healthy this season, and he's like I said, a very important piece of this upcoming team, and yeah, hopefully he can have just as many goals, and if not more. So,
You mentioned that you guys got 25 new faces coming into this year for the 2015 campaign. Touch a little bit about on what those guys are, and name drop a couple of what some of those guys are going to do for this team this coming up year.
Yeah, we have a couple of Scandinavians. We have a kid called Matthias Warp. He's from Norway, played on a high level there. He's a defender. Very high hopes for him. He might be injured right now. We also have Karel Kawele, who came in at semester last year. He's going to be a fantastic player for us. I like the way he played in the off-season. He's big and strong, and probably going to score a lot of goals for us as well. And then we have another guy, Emil Eriksson. He's going to be a forward, another goal scorer that we have high hopes for. I think he'll be a very good player for us. Just naming it.
Talk a bit about too the expectations of the non-conference season. You guys got UW Whitewater and Oshkosh again on the schedule, as well as Dominican, who's had some success in the past couple of years. Talk about just how much that non-conference schedule is going to prepare you guys for the CCIW.
Yeah, that too. But also, if you would not manage to win the CCIW final, if you have a strong schedule, you might be able to get in the tournament, and that's what happened a couple of years now in a row where we did not win the conference final, but our strength of schedule and result against ranked teams have been very good. So that's purposely, that's why we scheduled those tough games.
Obviously, it was a frustrating way to end the season, losing 2 in the regular season, losing 2 Wheaton College 1-0. But what do you think you guys got to do in order to get over that hump this year in the CCIW? Not only to just get past Wheaton, but get past the other teams like Elmhurst, Milliken, to move forward on that purpose.
Well, I think we're a little bit deeper this year. We're going to be a little bit short-handed in the end of last season, you know, with a couple of injuries whatsoever. This year we're hoping to play a little bit more players, and I think that could be the key. You know, started off last season very well, and hopefully can end it just as well as we started last year.
I know that this team has been a combination of offensive scores, and you guys haven't really been much of a possession team. You guys ranked second in goals scored last year with 41. That was in had two of the top goal scorers in the CCIW individually. Do you think that's going to be more of the same thing? Your offense is going to be like that in order to make your 7th appearance now? What would be the 7th appearance in the NCAA Division III National Tournament?
Well, yes and no. I think we're going to be very, very talented offensively next year. You know, like I said, a couple of incoming players that should be very good and contribute right away. We also have solid defense. I think we're going to be, like I said, very deep, and I have really high hopes. I'm very excited about next season, so I'm ready to go.
Talking about defensively too, where do you see this team basing the success defensively? More of a zone type defense? Are you guys going to be more playing of a man? What do you think it's going to be?
Well, it's hard to say right now, but I think our plan is to, similar to last year, you know, we pressure a little bit higher and work hard and try to, you know, be as compact as possible. But, you know, we're bringing in so many players that things might change, but that's the way it feels right now. You know, we start off the way we ended last year and take it from there. You know, we're not set on a formation or anything. You know, we're just going to make sure we get the best players out there and make sure that the system works for those guys. So.
All right, well, thanks so much for taking the time today, Chris, and we wish you guys and the best of luck in the 2015 season.
Thank you, Kevin.
Right,
Appreciate it. Have a good one.
And so, yep, just another solid year for coming up for the men's soccer team. So once again, we'd like to thank you for joining us tonight for this first edition of NPU Weekly, the weekly webcast show that brings you up to date with all the news in the world of North Park University athletics. Please stay tuned to our website this weekend, as the North Park men's soccer team will be hosting Edgewood College at 7 p.m. on Friday night, as well as the North Park women's soccer team at 5 p.m. Until then, go Vikings!